I don't know why we're doing this on wax paper, not in like a bowl, but we want to be messy today, and that's fine. Hey, that's fine. What's a teeny tiny treat I can serve this spring? Betty Crocker's answer: cream wafers. I'm Melinda and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. Today we are making a cream wafers, which is from section J, International Favorites, card number 18. We haven't really dug too deep into the International Favorites section of the library. I thought we would start here with these cream wafer cookies, which are apparently a tender, buttery little sandwich cookie from Sweden. I think they're gonna be pretty simple. I've heard that they're not super easy to make because the dough is really delicate, but it seems easy enough to me. It's just 3 ingredients: butter, whipped cream, and flour. And then you kind of toss the little cookies in some sugar and poke them with a fork before you bake them. And then we're gonna create some creamy filling and make little kind of sandwich cookies out of the filling and the cookie. So I don't know, I think they're gonna be really cute, really sweet. Let's see how easy they are. Let's give them a try. Okay, our first step to make the cream wafers is to mix thoroughly the butter, cream, and flour. So simple, so easy. We have 2 cups of flour here, specifically gold medal flour, which is General Mills / Betty Crocker brand flour. And we're gonna mix in 1/3 cup of heavy cream and 1 whopping cup of softened butter. I hope it's soft enough. We'll find out. I don't know if it is. Okay, let's mix. No, the butter's not soft enough. There's no water in here. It's just a little bit of heavy cream. This is a butter forward cookie. Okay, simple enough. Well, it says to cover and chill. Doesn't say how long. We're just gonna cover and chill. I think we want it to just kind of re-firm up a bit so that it's easier to roll. So we'll do that and then we'll start making some cookies. Okay, it's cookie time. I maybe got this chilled too long? I don't know. I tried to divide 1/3 of it. It's so buttery. I have here a floured cloth covered board and it says roll 1/8 inch thick, keep remaining dough chilled. Okay, roll until 1/8 inch thick. We'll see how this goes. A little worried. All this flour, it has to go well, right? Where do you see, like, why do these cracks form? I don't understand that. I can see a giant hole here where there's butter or something. I don't know. Cloth covered board is kind of a sleigh. I never usually follow the instruction because it seems like a lot to dirty a cloth like this, but it might be worth it. This whole time, I didn't know that's what you needed. Let me see if we have 1/8 here. Okay, the card says we want to cut 1.5 inch rounds from this. I have a 2 inch round cutter and I have a 1.25 inch round cutter, or I have this shot glass, which is closer, which is like 1.75 inches. And my mom did tell me that she calls cream wafer shot glass cookies because you can cut them with a shot glass. So maybe that's what I do. That seems like the closest in size. Although it won't have a sharp border, but I guess we'll give it a try. Let's give it a try. Always adjust, okay? Uh-oh, uh-oh, come back out. Cute. I guess this works. Maybe if I dip it in flour, that will help keep it from sticking. Nope. Okay, so what it says to do is transfer rounds with a spatula to a piece of wax paper that is heavily covered with granulated sugar. So I have some sugar, I have some wax paper. I'm gonna go ahead and dump some of that on there, just so I have some room to groove here. I'm gonna transfer each round to the sugar. There's a lot of flour on one side. So we'll just keep cutting them out and getting them on the sugar and go from there. Okay, I wanna get them like fully coated in the sugar. Because there was no sugar in the dough, I feel like this is the only thing that's gonna sweeten it. I guess we are making a cream filling with powdered sugar too, so the overall impression will be sweeter, but I feel like this step is important. So I'm just kind of pressing it in as best I can, making sure it picks up a fair amount of sugar. I don't know why we're doing this on wax paper, not in like a bowl, but we want to be messy today, and that's fine. Hey, that's fine. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna transfer them to our cookie sheet I don't know how much they're gonna bake. Are they gonna get spread and get wider? I don't know, they don't have any leavening in this. So probably not. I guess the butter will expand. Does it say how far apart on the baking sheet? Nope, it just says place. Place on ungreased baking sheet. We'll see what happens, we'll see what happens. Final step, prick rounds with fork about 4 times. You can kind of see on the card that it's like 4 rows of 4 tongs on each cookie. Prick, 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 like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. The pricking is probably gonna help them rise as well. Somewhere for the air to escape. Once the water in the butter starts to evaporate, it'll create air pockets and the air will wanna escape through these holes. Otherwise they would get really puffy, I think, if my science is correct. Ta-da! Okay, we're gonna get these in the oven for 7 to 9 minutes. How did an explosion at a mill lead to the innovative marketing of an American icon? That's the story of the award-winning gold medal flour. In 1866, a man named Caldwaller C. Washburn built a flour mill on the Mississippi River near Minneapolis. His massive structure produced up to 165,000 pounds of flour a day. Innovating a purification method that removed the dark husks during processing, their flour was an exciting stark white hue, which quickly became a hit with customers. But just over a decade into production, tragedy struck. Turns out that flour dust is flammable, more explosive than gunpowder and more combustible than coal. And one day, the entire mill exploded. Washburn rebuilt using state-of-the-art machinery with safer operations while producing higher quality flour. The public thought this new mill was too large and would never be able to sell all the flour it could produce, calling it Washburn's folly. Unafraid, Washburn took his new flour to an international exhibition where millers from around the world showcased their products, and after 3 top prizes in the fair, he could safely rename his brand to Gold Medal, which then flew off the shelves. Meanwhile, across the river, a man named Charles Pillsbury saw an opportunity. He broke into the business himself and purchased a mill right across the river from Washburn, starting a competitor flour mill and building a successful baking empire. Undeterred, Washburn continued to innovate, touting Gold Medal through pamphlets, calendars, and package inserts. Appealing to their buyers, they featured images of women in these marketing materials, touting simple, delicious recipes using Gold Medal flour. But once women started baking, they had questions. So in the 1920s, a test kitchen was opened at the mill where home economists tested for quality across recipes and answered consumers' flour-related questions. As you may know, that's how Betty Crocker was born. After Washburn put a puzzle ad in a magazine that you could mail in to win a pincushion, their mailbox was flooded with not only submissions, but letters full of questions. The team of home economists set out to answer them, but the advertising brains at the company sought a moniker to sign each letter. Betty Crocker. Soon the team was writing cookbooks in her name, appearing on the radio, putting her face on products, and the rest is history. Needing to expand their footprint, Washburn merged with 3 other mills, renaming the brand General Mills. What's funny is eventually General Mills purchased Pillsbury, including their iconic Doughboy mascot, meaning they were rivals no more. 2 American icons under one roof, Betty and the Doughboy, all thanks to the humble flour. All right, our cream wafers are out of the oven. Little cuties, looking great. Some of them are more like unshapen than others. We'll have to do some kind of experimentation when we try to figure out who gets paired with who. But you know, it is what it is. Let's make some creamy filling. The creamy filling is essentially a 1/4 cup of soft butter into 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. And so I'm gonna add that here. And we're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. Let's see if this becomes frosting, shall we? There's no other liquid. It says you can add a few drops of water at a time. It also says to cream it. I don't know what creaming it means. Should I have been doing this with like a, what's it called? A blender? A beater? I think I probably should have done it with a beater. Let's see what this does, huh? Let's get some horsepower in here. I think it's just too dry. I think it needs a few drops of water. Let's try it now. I guess at its simplest form, we're making buttercream. Literally creaming butter and sugar together. All right, I'm gonna divide this into 3 bowls so we can make 3 different colors. Okay, so on the front of the card, it shows that what I can perceive to be 3 different colors of filling, a yellow, a green, and a pink. So we're gonna do the same. I think that's perfect for spring, nice springtime colors. So I'm gonna drop a couple drops of food coloring into each of these bowls. Start with some grass green. I want it to be pastel-y, so we're just gonna go slow, 1 drop at a time here. That might even be too bright. Gorgeous spring green. All right, should we start frosting? Okay, so let's just go for it. Let's just grab a cookie, grab a little dollop. I don't think it needs too much. So I'm just gonna squeeze that together. I don't know, it's pretty cute though. Pretty cute. I think because this is buttercream, I might put these cookies in the fridge for a bit after they're assembled so that the cream hardens a little bit, because what I'm worried about is when you take a bite, the cream will just like shoot out of the sides of the cookie. So we'll see. All right, it's time to taste our cream wafers. Yummy. Here we go. Wow, okay. I was worried about them not being sweet enough. They're just the right amount of sweetness. It's similar to a sugar cookie, but less sweet and more butter. More buttery than a sugar cookie. The butter makes it very light, very delicate. The cookie almost cracks under the pressure of the bite, which means that it has a lot of light and airiness to it. And the creamy filling is really doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the sweet flavor. It almost, in a way, is flaky like pie crust, and that makes sense because I feel like pie crust is just flour and butter essentially. But yeah, definitely kind of just melts in your mouth. So light, so sweet, so cute. All right, cream wafers. I didn't know what to expect, but this was really nice. Very light, delicate, airy, just the right amount of sweet, a perfect little tea cookie or afternoon snack cookie, just a little hint of a treat. That's all you need. I think they're perfect for spring because, again, that kind of light, airy sensibility feels right for this time of year. I did the kind of springtime colors, but I feel like you could really make these any time of the year and dye the filling any color. You can make these for Christmas if you wanted to. So I think they're pretty versatile. They're pretty easy. The dough came together with just a few ingredients that you probably already have on hand. I will say, not the easiest cookie to make, just a lot with the rolling and the cutting and the coating in sugar and the poking and that kind of thing. But overall, I think it was kind of fun and definitely delicious. So I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 red spoons. Back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these little cookie treats, check out lemon-filled cookies next. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and until next time, happy homemaking.